Okay, let's talk about a secret weapon in chess. It's a powerful opening system that some of the absolute best players in the world use to get an edge. And the best part? It lets them completely sidestep all of their opponent's deep preparation. It's called the double fianchetto, and honestly, it might just be the thing you've been looking for to shake up your games.
But first, let's get real about a problem that I'm sure drives a lot of us crazy. Are you just tired of memorizing endless pages of opening theory? I mean, you spend all those hours studying lines, right? And then your opponent plays some random move you've never seen, and poof, you're completely on your own. It's so frustrating. It feels less like playing a game and more like you're cramming for a final exam.
And here's the thing. It's not just us club players feeling this way. Nope. Even the absolute top players, the legends, feel this pressure. I mean, take former world champion Vladimir Kramnik. Grandmaster Daniel Hausrath points out that Kramnik himself wrote that he was actively trying to get away from the massive theory. So think about that for a second. If a literal world champion is looking for a way out, maybe, just maybe, we should be too.
So, what did Kramnik do? What was his solution? Well, he and a bunch of other top GMs turned to a kind of shortcut system. You could almost call it their secret weapon. It's a way to completely skip those messy theoretical battles and jump right into a strategic, complex game where they are the ones calling the shots.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The double fianchetto. It's an incredibly flexible system with practically zero theory to memorize. Seriously. The whole point isn't to cram a bunch of computer lines into your brain. Instead, you learn the plans, the core ideas. And these are the very same plans the elite GMs use to get a real tangible advantage right from move one.
And just look at who plays this. We're not talking about some obscure masters here. We are talking about absolute legends of the game. You've got Vladimir Kramnik, the former world champ, who's famous for his deep prep. You've got Levon Aronian, one of the most creative players ever. Boris Gelfand, another world championship challenger. I mean, these are the guys who have used this system to win games at the very highest level. That's some serious street cred.
Okay, so now we know why it's so powerful and who uses it. But what exactly is it? The name double fianchetto might sound a little intimidating, but trust me, the actual concept is incredibly simple and elegant.
All right, first things first, let's break down that word fianchetto. It's Italian, and it basically means on the flank. And in chess, it just refers to a specific way you develop your bishop. So instead of moving it out to the center like you normally would, you tuck it away on the second rank, next to where your knight started. For white, that's going to be G2 or B2. And from there, it sits on a super long, super powerful diagonal.
So you can probably guess what comes next. The double fianchetto is, well, it's just doing that with both of your bishops. You put one on G2 and the other on B2. And from those spots, they become these long-range monsters, like snipers controlling the two biggest, most important diagonals on the whole board. They're just sitting back there, exerting all this pressure from a distance. It creates this incredibly strong, but also really flexible position.
But look, playing this system isn't just about plopping your bishops on G2 and B2 and calling it a day. No, there's a real blueprint for success here, a set of core principles that's going to guide your every move and give you a clear path to winning the game.
Okay, so the plan is built on three main pillars. It's really simple. Number one, you create an absolute fortress for your king. With that bishop on G2, your king is just chilling, super safe behind a wall of pawns. Number two, you control the center, but from a distance. You're not rushing in with pawns. Nope, you're influencing everything with those powerful bishops. And then, number three, once everything is nice and solid, you use those same long-range bishops to launch a totally devastating attack. All right, so to really see how all this works in a real game, let's check out a brilliant example from the man himself, Vladimir Kramnik. This is where all that theory smashes into reality.
So in this particular game, Kramnik has already built up his super solid double fianchetto structure. And he gets to this critical moment where his opponent probably thinks everything's fine, everything's under control. But then, bam, on move 17, Kramnik just unleashes this stunning tactical shot. The person annotating the game even said it was a nice tactical trick. He couldn't resist playing this one, and you can see why.
And here's the most important part. That brilliant tactic, it didn't just appear out of thin air. It was a direct result of his entire setup. Those two bishops were dominating the board from way back, and all that long-range pressure is exactly what created the opening for the tactic. His better development, his more active pieces, all those core principles of the system, they all came together to create a winning attack.
So you might be thinking, okay, cool, another opening to add to my list. But it's really not that simple.
The real power here is that the double fianchetto is more like a whole philosophy. It's a completely different way to approach chess. It's all about trading that painful memorization for real, deep, strategic understanding.
You know, the author of the book on this very topic, Daniel Hausrath, he puts it perfectly. He literally says, these structures are really a lifestyle for me. Think about that. It's a fundamental shift in how you play and, honestly, how you can enjoy the game by focusing on big ideas instead of tiny, concrete move orders.
So really, it all boils down to two completely different ways of thinking about chess. On one hand, you've got the heavy theory approach, right? That's memorizing lines, getting locked into rigid pawn structures, and usually getting into these crazy tactical fights right away. But on the other hand, you have the double fianchetto way of life, understanding plans, building a super flexible setup, and making sure your king is safe before you go on the attack. And that brings us to the big question, the one you have to ask yourself, because this isn't just about winning more games, it's about how you want to win them. So, are you ready to finally stop memorizing and start understanding your way to victory? Definitely something to think about next time you sit down to play.